Hi, it's Bells, and you're listening to Music Row.
Welcome to Music Row, a backstage pass to your favorite country artists. Here's your host, Leek.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the love, thanks for the comments, whether you're commenting through the application that you're listening to this program on, or you're finding me on social media at The Leek on the sites that are out there. Keep the comments coming, keep the shares going, and thanks for tuning in. Makes a big difference. In today's program, we get to know Bells. Now, she started her career super young, going out on tour with her mom, who had a big record deal in the 90s and such. She graduates super early, both high school, then university, which, by the way, she also got extremely good grades, which makes sense. That's why you're graduating early. You're pretty dedicated. We talk about growing up in Nebraska and making that decision to move to Nashville. And then, as fate would have it, running into somebody that led to the lyrics of Son of Joleen. Now, I bring that up because Son of Joleen has been blessed in by Dolly Parton. So we'll hear all that story and so much more. And you can go check out Bells. I've got all the links in the description of this program. Lots of tour dates coming through summer of 2026. So with that, get ready for a conversation with Bells on the Music Row podcast.
Hi, my name is Kim Stockwood. I am a proud Newfoundlander and a Canadian singer-songwriter. In a landscape where many lack access to health benefits or employee assistance programs, the Unison Fund serves as a lifeline of hope for musicians and music industry professionals facing medical emergencies or mental health challenges. To learn more about Unison and their programs, please visit unisonfund.ca.
Hi, it's Bells. You're listening to Music Row with Leek.
Can you just talk into
Check,
the
check,
microphone?
check. Hey. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check.
That sounds
1, 1.
great.
Nice. Thanks.
Did you just come into Toronto today?
I came into... I played a show in Stratford on Saturday.
Right on.
Yeah.
So you've been like kind of localized.
Yes. I played a show in Stratford on Saturday. I took a train into Toronto, which was so much fun.
Absolutely.
It was awesome.
You know, that's the craziest thing. How we don't have trains. Like, why do we not have more
I have
trains?
been on this rant all day since that train. That train was awesome. It was so easy. It was so chill.
Right.
And now I'm like, why don't we have this everywhere? Why can't we just take trains around to different cities?
Like when you go through Europe, trains everywhere.
Yes.
You know,
I
it's
totally
sad.
agree.
It's
It is
upsetting.
sad.
But, you know, you're part of the world where you grew up.
Yeah.
No trains, lots of trucks.
Lots of trucks.
You grew up in Omaha, which is the pretty part of Nebraska. Like seriously, like when you come in on the highway and you're cruising down by Omaha, it looks like a completely different landscape than what you just came through in South Dakota.
That
or if
is
you make it to
so
Lincoln.
interesting. Yeah.
That's just my impression of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I probably hit the one postcard spot that you guys have for Omaha.
You know, Nebraska's really, it's pretty in a different way because it's so flat and there's such a big sky and it's so green. And you can just see, like if you get out of Omaha, like 20 minutes outside of Omaha, you just stand there and you can just see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. And that to me is pretty like beautiful. And I do miss that. And whenever I go home, I'm like, so much open space.
It's like looking out at the ocean.
Yes.
Just a weird looking grassy ocean.
Exactly.
Well, I stayed in Lincoln or tried to stay in Lincoln one night years ago. And I guess there was a football game that weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's no room at the inn.
No.
You're not getting to stay anywhere. But as I was having dinner at this pub, I thought I saw one of the wildest things ever. And that was, do you remember those Lance Armstrong cancer yellow bracelets?
Yeah.
So there was a dude at the pub who had one of these things on, who I swear in about 45 minutes had about 8 cigarettes. I'm like, wow,
you are really fighting a weird fight right now, pal. Like going for it. But when I left that pub that night because I couldn't stay in town, I ended up driving through Nebraska into Kansas and I was surrounded, like you said, where you can see vast, wide open spaces.
Oh, yeah.
I was surrounded by thunderstorms. Like I was in the middle, I was in the eye of it. And it was the easiest drive ever.
Yeah.
Except I wasn't really watching the road. I was like, wow, this is like sky is just exploding in front of me.
Yeah.
You get weather there.
Oh, 100%. And it sometimes rolls in really fast and rolls out really quickly, and then you can kind of watch it. It's very interesting. It's really cool.
Did your school have like, protocol for tornadoes and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I honestly, the worst tornadoes I've been in have been in Nashville, which is weird.
They've been getting a lot lately.
Yeah, we've been getting bad tornadoes in Nashville, but
when you first moved to Nashville, there was one, I think, right away.
Yeah, the big one, the 2021, I slept through that because I'm an idiot. But don't do that.
Are there not just alarms?
Oh, there
and just
are.
sirens?
I just slept through. I don't know what happened. I woke up and everyone was like texting me like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, what happened?" And
right, because that storm did come at night too.
Yeah, it did. That was really a really bad storm. But
Yeah.
I was in one when I was in college. I was a chemistry major in college for 2 years.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go to college?
University of Nebraska, Omaha. So
Okay.
UNO, and
I love it. Yeah, UNON.
Yeah.
What? ON or OM? I don't know. But anyways,
It doesn't matter.
that's a good point.
I was in chemistry class and the siren started going off and we had to like drop everything, go down there. And yeah, there was a tornado like pretty much right above us.
Like on campus.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
How old were you? 16?
Probably like 17 or 18. Yeah.
You graduated like
I
really
graduated
early,
high
didn't
school
you?
when I was 16. Yeah.
How did you get to become such a chemist?
I don't know, man. I was
That's
just
awesome.
always weirdly good at math and science, and I was always like just pretty good at like school stuff, which was annoying in a weird
Are
way.
you a single child?
No, I'm the oldest though.
Okay.
And then I just had a lot of credits in high school, and then I was like, I don't really like being here, so I just graduated in 3 years for funsies.
That is crazy because I know a lot of people kids or young people who during COVID ended up getting credits for all their classes because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But you just took it upon yourself when you could actually do everything else in the world. You just got into books.
Yeah. I mean, my school is really cool because you can kind of it was basically like college, but in high school. And it's a public high school, but you could choose your own classes and like make your own schedule. So I just took a ton of classes. And then I was like, well, then I can just graduate now, I guess. And then I just was like, peace.
See you later.
Left.
Y'alls.
Yeah.
And
But it's cool that they let me do that because that, I was way happier out of high school, honestly.
And then you could start touring with mom.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you have someone who I would suggest know very well,
Yeah.
who has already thousands and thousands of hours on stage and touring and stuff to kind of get you going on your career. But I guess your mom had the issue of she couldn't talk you out of being a musician because the whole family has been doing it all along.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
She tried a little bit. I'm not going to lie because my grandma was a jazz singer. My great grandma was actually an organist. So everyone in my family just
Like a pipe organ too.
Yeah.
Like super old. Great grandmother.
Yeah.
Like turn of the century kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that was rare for women to do that. So that's pretty cool.
Couldn't even vote, but could play the pipe organ at the community center.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, like my mom put me in like swimming and like soccer and like karate and like all of this stuff. But I just loved like dancing and singing and dance class and all that stuff. So it kind of just happened pretty naturally. She couldn't really stop it, but she did, she warned me a lot growing up just because, so my mom and her 3 sisters, they were in a band called Mulberry Lane and they were signed to MCA in the 90s. They had one like top 25 pop hit and then they ended up getting dropped from their record label and ended up back in Nebraska and kind of had a pretty good rise and then a pretty hard fall that happened pretty quickly.
The one thing that we can say out of respect to your mom and the band is most bands have been dropped by their record label.
Oh yeah.
A lot has changed.
And I mean,
and they crashed right when country, I know she was kind of country pop or pop harmony.
Yeah, it's pop harmony. It was kind of like Jewel, but if you listen to it now, it honestly sounds like country music to me.
Absolutely.
But that was the thing, was they were so talented. It was kind of like, you know, right when they were hitting was right when Britney Spears came out with Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Sure.
So that kind of changed everything for them, because then all of a sudden pop music kind of shifted into this like hyper pop, like boy band Britney era. And they just weren't that, you know?
Right.
So, and that's sometimes, unfortunately, the business. And those are the type of things that my mom would talk about to me about how, you know, you can get your heart broken a lot in this industry, and you have to do it because you love it, not because, you know, you want to be famous or you have to do this for you, you know, and not to make other people happy.
That's super strong advice.
Yeah.
But what did Grandma say? What is going on, Kelly? Is that what she said? Kelly, sit down.
She was
what are you
always so supportive of me. And she was like one of my biggest cheerleaders moving to Nashville and going after this dream. And she, you know, I would ask her for advice a lot. She always had really great, like, out of the box ideas. Like, it was actually, I started booking my own headlining tours in 2022. And that was actually her idea for me to do that.
Saying, why are you waiting around for someone to do it? Why don't you just pick up the internet and make it happen?
Yeah, that's what she said. Because I was like, well, I don't know how to book that shows, you know? And then she was like, well, why don't you just email the venues? And I was like, oh, can you just like do that? So then I just tried, like, hey, I want to come play at your venue. And then people started saying yes. And then here we are.
And then you found too, probably out of that, who's most likely to say yes and who's most likely to say no. So you make your super list all kind of based on this information that's coming back to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at what other artists who are about my like size on social media, where they were playing.
So smart.
And then I just started writing to those venues, and it ended up working out. So, you know, and I learned so much by doing that, you know.
Okay, what did those first road dates teach Kelly Bells?
Well,
that you don't like driving.
No. I'm fine to drive. Train is preferable though.
Right.
I mean, so I've toured a lot ever since I was pretty young. Like I toured around the Midwest in high school and in college, and then I was on an arena tour for like 3 years, opening for JoJo Siwa. And then
what, were you like 15?
No, I was like 19, 20, 21. Yeah. And then, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, but this was the first time that I was booking my own show, selling my own tickets.
Yeah.
And that was a different animal, because then I also become the promoter of the show, you know, and, but surprisingly, like that first tour was really like well received, and it went like really well. And I was so happy and excited, and those shows really like fueled me, because, you know, after I got off of that JoJo tour, I made this EP that I was really, really, really proud of, and all the songs had done pretty well on socials, and I put it out, and then nothing really happened, you know? And then I was like sitting here like, well, do I just make another EP and then just like put that out, you know? Or like, how do I reach these people? Because I had a decent fan base by then. And I was like, how do I, you know, actually meet these people that like my music? And that really changed everything. Like once I got there and just got out on the road, and by the end of that first headlining tour, that was when I kind of had my first publishing and indie record deal offer. And every time I go out on one of these tours, I've done 4 of them now. I'm about to go out on my last one.
Let's talk about your publishing deal.
Yeah.
When you're talking to publishers, and there's a lot out there worldwide, they're finding you. You probably get hit up all the time. Hey, are you signed with anybody yet? Are you doing this yet? But what was it for you to sign with a publisher?
Well,
what's their selling point to you?
It was weird because I had met with a lot of publishers at this point, and there was always some random reason why it just wasn't working or it just didn't work out. And I was just, at that point, I was just kind of like, you know, I'm just going to trust my gut and see where that leads me. And I wrote with this guy, Johnny Gates, who I had met back in like 2019, and then we kind of lost touch over COVID, and he just randomly DM'd me like, hey, do you want to write some time? And we wrote this song that ended up being on my last EP called Broken in Boots. And then at the end of this write, Stephanie Green, who's my publisher now, came in, and like I met her, and she just seemed like so nice and like real. And then like she just sat down with me and Johnny, and we were just like talking about music, and like we played her the song, and she really loved it. And then I literally remember after that write, I called my mom and I was like, I wish I could find a publisher like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's who I ended up with. And she's awesome. And I mean, I don't know. I just have always really appreciated her attitude and her honesty. And, you know, just she goes for it and isn't afraid to like, you know, make connections and like ask good questions and stuff like that.
That's the crazy thing about being a young artist, getting into any genre, but I would say especially country music in Nashville, making those connections.
Yeah.
Like, I would imagine you have written with everybody under the sun at some point, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I just had Tyler Rich on the program, and he was given advice of, you're going to write really good songs with okay songwriters and really bad songs with really good songwriters, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know how you artists do it, because I would think that everything that I've released or written is the greatest thing ever. Then I'd play it for one person, the first person who I'd run into, and they would probably just reject me altogether, saying, "This is the what's wrong with you?" How many songs have you written since you moved to Nashville in like 2020, we'll call it?
In 2021, I remember I think I broke 200 that year, because I was just committed. Because it was basically what Tyler Rich said. That is like advice that I was given as well, of like, write 10 bad songs and then maybe you'll get one good one, and then write 10 more bad ones, and then just keep going and keep honing the craft. And I think 2022 I wrote it, I think that was like 100 that year. I don't know, probably around 500 or 600, honestly.
Do you have like some songs where you've got it down on paper, and that same theme keeps coming back to you because you know that song is, yeah, I wrote it, I give it a C+ overall, I want to make it an A, and you just try to find that way to do it?
I had that with one of my songs, Ring on the Table, that was on my last EP.
Right.
I started that, and then I just kept coming back to it because I never felt like it was like quite right yet. Yeah. And then it took me like almost 2 years to really finish it.
The amount of hours.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If we were punching a clock on artists writing songs, the amount of hours that it takes to get that song done when it's only a 3.5 minute long song.
But then sometimes it happens really fast too. It's so random.
I bet you had that when you were a kid, where you wrote some songs really quick and you're like, how did I do that? I just finished having cereal. I'm busting out to chemistry class. Hey, speaking of chemistry class, quickly, the reason why I didn't become a chemist is I believe that all the superpowers in the universe collectively said, it's too much power for you to learn chemistry. Like, I would be making tequila in my basement every day, and then the neighborhood would explode. What is the craziest thing that you know you could build or construct with your chemistry education? Have you made like your special vodkas and stuff?
No, I don't. I mean, I got to the point where I was in organic chemistry and I was in Calc 3. But that all I was learning was like atoms and numbers and math. And that,
So there wasn't a lab time where you said,
no,
I got a great idea.
I mean, I could like, what's that called?
We're going to make a new fuel. It's going to be faster and more higher octane.
Yeah.
But
I could titrate some stuff really well. I don't know. That seems like a whole nother life to me. Like, I feel like I like purposefully like forgot all of that information. It was very interesting. But yeah, I got a 98% in Calculus 3.
Whoa. That is unreal.
Fun fact.
I hope that you have that. Is that on your like websites?
No,
is that in your bio on your Instagram?
I don't think I've ever said that in an interview before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I was just always really good at math. I can just do math.
I'm worried just about this conversation now. Like I feel so judged.
No,
you're 98. I feel like, oh my God, we can't even have a conversation because of this educational background.
I loved music so much, and I was playing all these shows on the weekends, and I was, playing a 4-hour bar gig at a random bar in Nebraska, and then I would, until like
doing
2 in the morning.
100 covers a night.
Yes, and then I would go home and sleep for a couple of hours, and then go to chemistry at 8 a.m. And then I was just getting exhausted. Like I was just getting really run down trying to live both of these lives, and then it just got to the point where I was like, I gotta like pick one, and then I chose music, but I kind of, I didn't, and it wasn't really my backup plan, but I kind of knew that if I really failed, I could go back to school, probably easily get a math degree. I didn't really know if I wanted to keep going with chemistry, but easily get a math degree and go do something random with that. But I don't know.
Okay, there's so many more things that I want to talk about, but we're gonna have to save it for another time. There is something though that we need to talk about, and son of Joleen.
Yes.
So Dolly Parton knows you.
I know, it's crazy.
And that is exactly where I was going with this.
I know.
That is something, it doesn't matter where you grow up. You could grow up as Dolly Parton's neighbor and she still might not know you.
No, it's weird that you say that because only a couple weeks ago, I had that realization. I had like this weird like moment of like, because I obviously grew up idolizing Dolly. And like if Dolly was in a room with a bunch of people, she would be like, I know that person. Like Dolly does know who that's weird to me. But yeah.
So was the song all done and then presented to Dolly? And
yeah,
what was the response? What was the reaction that came back? Obviously, I know she likes it.
Yeah.
But how did that all happen?
Well, so I was on tour, one of my headlining tours, fall of 2024. And my opening act, his mom came out to a show one night, and his mom's name was Joleen. So then we were in the van the next day, and I just turned to him and I was like, you should write a song about being the son of Joleen. And he was like, I don't really know if that's what I would write about. But I said, well, I might write that if that's cool with you. And he was like, sure, go ahead. So I wrote that song the next week, and then just immediately everyone like on my team and was just like, we really like this song. Like it's really connecting. And so then my publisher was able to get it to Dolly's producer, Kent Wells. And then Kent really liked the song and then played it for Dolly. And yeah, and then Dolly loved it and wanted to be a part of the song and sing on it. So
like a crazy blessing.
Yeah,
from
I know.
Like the hierarchy of country music and women's rights and
oh yeah.
Like when I like her take is she's gonna filter everything herself and not let the public opinion kind of sway her, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that even if you look, deep into her future, in her past, sorry, like she's always made decisions based on what she wants to do, and she's always followed her. Well, that's what I asked her for advice, and she said to follow my God gut, which is cool. You
got a strong God gut?
I'm getting there. I'm building that. But, no, I've always admired her business sense and just everything about her. And just to meet her and, she's so quick. And so I don't know how she, thinks of these things. And it was just amazing to
just
be
even
around
working
her.
the room.
Yeah.
She honestly knows most of the people when she's in that room. She's not just giving lip service like, oh yeah, it's good to see you.
Oh no, she was so real, so just everything you would think she would be and more. It was really wonderful.
Well, it's a great song. Thanks for writing it. Thanks for going on tour with the son of Joleen.
Yeah.
And because otherwise you wouldn't have this song today.
I know. It's so crazy. You never know when inspiration is going to hit you and it's going to change your life. So, yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Follow Music Row on X at Music Row Country, on Instagram at Music Row Official. Music Row is produced by Shed of Dreams.